And welcome to day 17 of 60 Days to Automate Challenge. And today we're going to be talking about using AI and automation, and more specifically chatbots, to capture leads on your website instead of traditional forms. So this week in the challenge, we're really focused on sales automations. Yesterday, we talked about how we can use AnswerAI and Flowise to conduct research about our competitors and the companies we're going to be speaking with. Today, we're going to be talking about how to use chatbots for that lead capture. And today we're going to build that chatbot. We're also going to integrate it into our Airtable so that you can see how you can use Airtable as a CRM. We're also going to talk about the out-of-the-box solution for AnswerAI and Flowise for capturing leads that might also suit your needs. And then we're also going to explore how to set up for more popular CRMs. We're going to use HubSpot for the example today, but a lot of what we are going to be speaking about and use could be swapped out for a lot of different CRMs. And for those who don't know what a CRM, it's a customer relationship manager. So essentially something that can record all of your customer and prospect interactions so that you can sell more to them, nurture them, and ensure that you're supporting them along the way. So why use a chatbot instead of a form? Well, first, it really is a lot better user engagement with a chatbot than a form. When I did experimentation and I led the growth team at Optimizely, we had many discussions around how many forms do we have on the field to collect the information do we need? Do we get the phone number? Do we get the email? What do we make required? What not? Knowing that the more form fields that we have, the less conversion rate we're going to get. But we need to be able to qualify these leads as efficiently as possible. And by treating it more like a conversation as opposed to tactile filling out this information, can become more engaging and get more detailed information. You can also give them real-time information. Do you want this white paper? Great, here's this white paper. By the way, based off of your use case, because you said I want to use AnswerAI in marketing and for content repurposing, well, here's also a white paper that we have about how to use that same content to train your own AI avatar. These are the types of things that you can do to really enhance the process of procuring software, procuring services, when you have really engaged users that really do want to learn more about your service. But especially with filling out a form, we all know what that means. You're going to be hounded by emails. You're getting into email sequences. If they give you your phone, you're going to be getting phone calls. Mine's practically unusable at this point. So we all know the cost of giving up this information. So if you can help your prospects get to the information that they need quicker and more efficiently, then that's better on both sides. And at the end of the day, you can have very personalized interactions with your users. If you ask a question, tell me a little bit about why you came here, right? They'll tell you, oh, I'm looking for this, or I just want to find out about pricing, or hey, I really have this specific use case and I'm in marketing. You can then tailor the instructions of the chatbot to go down a line of thinking. One of the ways that I always structure my chatbots on lead gen forms is I always tell my customers, give me a list of every single possible question that you would ask a prospect if there was an unlimited amount of time and resources. And if you had the answers to all of these questions, and then you give that to a chatbot and you essentially say, fill out this form, but using as little questions as possible. So essentially saying, here's your goal, but then it using based off of the information that it's already received, because it can infer different information, it can go down different paths, it can dig a little bit deeper and really give you relevant data that can really help your sales team, coupled with the research that we talked about yesterday. Those two together, which we'll see tomorrow, when you're creating those personalized emails. Hey, I know you really have this real problem. I see your company, they're struggling in this area. My solution or my service is exactly what you need. Those types of emails resonate, and they require information about the company, and it requires information about why this person came to you in the first place. And at the end of the day, just an email doesn't give you a lot of information, but these chatbots will. So let's jump in and build our first chatbot. So the first one that we're going to build is going to be an AnswerAI and Flowise. So out of the box, there's the ability to capture a lead using a chatbot. And this one's a little bit different than using the chatbot to capture the lead, but rather having someone fill out a form to be able to use the chatbot. So we're going to start there with our Sidekick. So we're going to use the out of the box tool for that, and we're going to walk through that process. All right. So right here, we have this Sidekick starter chat flow. I'm going to create a new one here. All right, let's go here. Add a little bit. Let's go into let's clone the sales. We're going to clone the sales Sidekick. So we have our tool agent here, and we're going to save this and call this the capture Sidekick. Here we go. All right, so we're going to update the instructions for this one, and I'm just going to quickly just give it some basic instructions. We'll play around with these instructions as we get to the later parts, but for right now, I'm just going to say for the system message here, you are a lead capture assistant. Your goal is to, why is that red? Your goal is to capture the most amount of information you can about the user's goals for my service. You will answer any questions. Your goal is to help them find information about my business, and to ask for their email to send them more information personalized to them. All right, so here we have your lead capture assistant. Once again, we're just going to basic prompt here just for this. But for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to first show you the out of the box version. And once we have a little tool agent right here, we can click on the filters up in the top right in Flowise, and then in the chat flow configuration. You may not see this. This is in AnswerAI in our configurations, but the rest of these are the same in Flowise, where you can choose the last tab, which is leads. And if I turn this on, I'm given a couple of form fields. So I can say, hey, what's the form title? Please fill out this form to use this chatbot. Message, thank you. Please confirm your email. Now, this is a little bit of a different use case, but what we're doing is we're essentially just adding this. I just want to show you this because depending on your use case, you may want to lock the chatbot down before you allow someone to use it. Some cases, for instance, on our site, we have these very specific persona-based, very niche, how to get started with generative AI and commercial real estate, right? And it's a whole white paper about that specific niche and those problems and everything. And we can go in here and it can ask questions. And the goal of this one is to book a strategy session. So that's how we use these in ours. But sometimes you will want to limit the use of that before you can use it. And that's what we're showing here. So here we're going to say I want to collect the name and the email. And I hit save. So now if I go over here to share chatbot, so up in the top right hand corner, there's the little code looking thing. And then we say share chatbot. And this is in Flowise. We're going to make this public just so I can show you. And we copy this and I'm going to put it into a new tab. So this is something that I can share with anyone. I can embed in my site. With inside of here, there's, if you're a developer, or you have a WordPress site or anything like that, we do have the ability to just add this script to your websites, and it will show up for either full page for this, or you can just share a direct link. With inside of here, you can edit a lot of different things. So for instance, if I wanted to say, travel smart AI, maybe give it some sort of link, a welcome message. Hello, I can help you book your travel. And we have right here, we'll do this. So we're going to save these changes. Now if we go here, so now we see travel smart AI. Hello, I can help you book travel. So now we can say, hey, how can we help? Please give me your email before we begin. So now if I put it in here and say, hey, I'm with, Bradley Taylor, digital at scale demo.com, and I click on this. I have the thank you message. I have this as well, it looks like. All right. And now we can see, hello, I can help you book your travel. So now that I've filled out this form, I can now use this. So we haven't really given it much information, but hello, what do you do? As you can see, well, one, we haven't hooked up any tools, so let's do that. So here, tools are mandatory. So in this case, what we want to do now is we want to give this chatbot a little bit of information about what our company is and does so that we can answer some of those questions. So to do that, we're going to add this. So we're going to add what's called a retriever, and it's a tool called a retriever tool. And what this is used for is anytime that you need to give your agent, your sidekick, access to information to go and retrieve information, we want to use this retriever tool. So all the tools that we've used have been, very simple, do this action or get this small piece. However, information about your business could be very large. This could be a pretty large data set. So to set it up, we're going to set up a retriever tool. And we're going to use this and we're going to hook this up to the document stores that we created in one of the previous days. So here I'm going to give it a name. So here I'm just going to call it company FAQs. And here I'm going to give it the description. So for this, I'm just going to say use this tool to get information about the company's FAQs. And once again, all these promptings, try not to overthink it in the beginning because it can really hang you up. Really try to get these things connected first. You can always improve on quality. Once you have these things set up, it's a lot easier to go back in and just tweak these prompts. And we have tools for that as well, which you'll learn. All right. So we're just going to connect this to our tools. Now, what does a retriever tool require? Well, over here, it requires a retriever. So we go over here till we add nodes in Flowise in the Sidekick Studio here. And we're going to go down to the retrievers section. So there's a whole section here for retrievers. And there's a lot of different types of retrievers. There's ones that will choose the right data set based off the prompt. So for instance, or we'll choose the right prompt based off of what was said. There's a lot of different ways, and we're not going to get into the specifics of all of these. But for the purpose of this, we're going to bring what's called a vector store retriever. It's one of the more popular retrievers. So think of vector store as the library catalog for all of your data. What this is going to do is you're going to give it, and you're going to say FAQs, and all of the FAQs for the company Travel Smart AI about, I'm going to add this right here, about Travel Smart AI FAQs. So we have this FAQs, all the FAQs. What's the difference here? Well, this description tells the agent which tool to use and when, whereas this is just giving it a description here for this piece. So we go here. Oh, sorry, it's not the vector store retriever. All right. So here for retriever instead, made a mistake. It's not in Flowise, it's not the vector store. It's a very bad naming. It's actually under vector stores. There is a in-memory vector store here. We're going to use that. We're going to drag that up there. So this connects here. So this dropdown, you can either return it as a vector store or have retriever for this since it's retriever. It just gives you different, so they can be used with different modules. But essentially, this is like your library, your catalog, so to speak. And then we're going to want to hook it up to what are called embeddings in our document. Well, what do we do there? Well, we can come in here and we can choose embeddings. And we're going to choose OpenAI embeddings. Connect embeddings to there. And we're going to choose our credentials. So now we have OpenAI embeddings. And for a refresher on what embeddings are, essentially, think of it as like the translation. The way that AI works is it predicts the most logical next character token. Embeddings essentially puts it into a similarity, creates it into a bunch of numbers that the AI understands a lot better than words. Let's just leave it at that. All right, so we now have the OpenAI, we have the embeddings, and then the document. So here we're going to choose our document loader and document store. And here I'm going to choose the Travel Smart AI Business Documents. I think we have that. Let's use that. So now what we've done is we have given it access to a tool that is stored in what's called a memory vector store. And then we're able to query this. So let's go ahead and save this. And I'm actually, well, all right. Let's go in here. And what is your company do? Or what does your company do? Let's start there. All right, as you can see now, it says our company, Travel Smart AI, specializes in leveraging artificial intelligence to enhance travel experiences. We offer a range of services aimed at making travel planning smarter and more efficient, helping users organize trips tailored to their preferences. So as you can see here, at the end it says, could you share your email? I could send you more detailed and personalized information. Not right now. Do you book offsites for companies? All right. So as you can see, use the company FAQs. It offers tailored travel management solutions for businesses and executive travelers. This means we can assist in organizing and booking offsites for companies by creating personalized itineraries. If you change your mind and would also like more specific information about how we can assist with your company's offsite planning, please let me know your email address and I can send detailed information along the way. So this is where then you can go in here and you can really adjust it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these instructions, and I'm going to say follow up with some more with one question that has the most probability of capturing. So follow up with one question that has the most probability of understanding the user's intent. I could probably wordsmith this, but the overall goal of this is, hey, what's the next question that I can give you that is going to, in a way, like, give me more information? Great. Oh, are you planning an offsite? When's your next offsite? These types of questions. Oh, it's in April. You can start to make it more conversational. Oh, hey, you doing an offsite in April for your company of 30. We have this perfect package. Let me send it to you. That's more valuable than just give me your email. So let's see how this works. So we go here and let's refresh this. Let's open it up here. I'm going to say, I want to find out more about your travel booking options. So here it's giving this, we do personalized itineraries, real time, all of the things that are in our document. So if you missed one of the previous days last week's, it's reading it off of this Travel Smart AI that we created as a document store the other day. So go back and watch how to create document stores. But as you can see here, we have all this information, and then at the end, could you let me know what specific aspects or would you like to receive more detailed? We could probably work on its approach, but you get the idea, right? I'm looking for an offsite with 30 people, tropical. All right. And we can go through here. We can talk about exactly how we could do and work on and how Travel Smart AI can assist them. So very clear, very focused. Give me your email. So now what we want to do is we showed how you can create the form to be able to use this, but what if we just want to have it so that when I do get to this, I do want this information. How can you create it so that it captures that information and stores it in Airtable? So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to update this Sidekick so that when we do get to this area in the chat and the user does say, I do want more information, the user just has to give the email and it's then stored in in Airtable. So let's work on that. All right, so we have this chatbot that we've created that is connected to our company FAQs. It's helping us to show the value propositions. It's asking further questions. Now it's saying, hey, can you please provide the email address? So let's hook it up so that when they do give the email address, it will push it to our customers table in Airtable. So we'll go in here and we're going to add a field and we're going to say email and we're going to add notes. Oh, we already have a notes field. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a new tool. And when this tool is used, it's going to create a new Airtable record. And we've already done this. So if we go over to our tools, if you remember, we created an Airtable record in this create to do task. And this already has, useful when you need to create a task, the name, the description, the due dates. But by this point, we should know how to create a new innate in tool. And that's what this is. So first, we need to go into innate in, and we're going to go into our new workflow. We're going to say day 17, lead capture. All right, now on this one, we are going to add on webhook, as we do with all of these. On this one, we're also going to have it be a post because we're going to be sending information. In this case, the email, the first name, a summary of what the conversation was about, things like that. All right. We do not need any authentication for this. And for respond, we're going to say using respond to webhook node on this. So here we have, and then we're going to copy out our test URL. And what we're going to do is go over to back to Flowise or AnswerAI in the Sidekick Studio or in Flowise. Click on this, innate-in webhook custom tool, use template. And we're going to name this one, create contact in Airtable. Useful when you need to create a new contact in Airtable. Once again, these descriptions, these prompts can all be and should be constantly revisited. So in here, we're going to pass it the user's email, and it's going to be a string. So email of the user of the contact to create. We're also going to add the company name. And we're going to put this as the type is string. Name of the company the person works for. And we're going to add, you know what, actually for this, the reason I was putting that is because we have customer name here. I'm going to put the email as the primary field. Now, this is just so that we can have this be unique. We don't necessarily want to need to get the name of the customer, although we can the notes, but just so that this is unique, I'm going to move that over there. All right, so we have email company. We're going to add notes string. So when you're having parameters like this, think of this as a prompt as well to the agent. It's going to need to create these notes. In this case, we're going to say a summary of the chatbot history for let's say a summary of the chatbot conversation. In this way, we can also in our instructions in our tool agent really tell it, hey, look for these things, look for these buying signals, look for these pain points, what your product or service solves for the best. And if you can direct the conversation to those, really focus on what you do best. And if the chatbots align with that too, it gives you great, it just speeds up that sales process. So we have our email, company, notes. Do we have, let me see. We're going to put this as their name. So this is going to be more individuals than anything. So we're going to take these out. We're going to leave our tasks and all these. All right. And we're going to add a new status here as prospect. And that's it. All right. So now that we have our table, now that we have started, we have our email, company, notes, we need to also add the name. All right, so we have the name of the person that's using the chatbot. So we're going to be collecting the email, at least require the company, any of the notes, and the name of the user. And we can make these required or not. But I'm going to show you a little prompting trick that we're going to use to do this. So now that we have this tool created, create contact in Airtable. All right. So now we're going to go back over to our lead capture Sidekick. And in here, we're going to add this as a tool that it can use. So we click on the add nodes over here, and we'll go down to tools and custom tool. Just move this right into there. So now we have this custom tool, and we drag that over to the tools. Now we're going to select the tool, and the tool that we're going to select is the create contact in Airtable. So now what we need to do is we need to test the tool. So in order to test it, we need to go over to innate-in and click on listen for test event. If you remember, this is, but before we do that, we forgot to do something. We forgot to put in our test and production URLs. So let's go back over to the tool. We can just click on the edit button. We can just, let me zoom in here. So there's a little edit button. Click on that and scroll down. We also forgot to put the information in the message body. So let's add our test URL and production URL. And we also need to add the message body. So in this case, we need to add email, company, notes, and name. So let's add those down here. So, all right. It's going well, car yard. Thank you. Email, we have name. All right. So we have email, name, notes, and company. We have our webhook URL. We're going to save this. And to just test this, what I'm going to do is let's just continue our chat. Let's see. So we're going to go in here and we're going to listen for the test of it. And I'm going to say, great. It's going to be digital at scale demo at gmail.com. My name is Bradley, and I'll go over here in just a minute how we can get this a little bit more naturally. My company is Last Rev, and I want to go somewhere tropical. All right, so as we can see here, it definitely would have tried to use it. We can see what it's going to send it. The email was digital at scale. Company was Last Rev. Notes, Bradley is interested in organizing an offsite for 30 people in a tropical location. He is looking for a personalized itinerary planning, group discounts, team building activities, and eco-friendly options. These were more what was suggested. We might want to adjust the prompting, which is what we're going to do. But right here we have webhook error, web workflow could not be started. So let's take a look at this one. So no respond to webhook. Got it. So let's add our respond to webhook. We're going to respond with the incoming item. We're going to add our Airtable in the middle here. So now that we have the table, now that we know that it did call it with the correct information, I'm going to now add my Airtable, which is create a record. We're going to choose our Travel Smart AI for our base. Make sure that the right base up here is connected. The right credentials. And then we have our base. And then for the table, we are going to say customers. We're going to run this again so that we can get this information. We're not going to need tasks, but we are going to need prospect, and we'll get the rest of this. We don't need a signee, but we'll get the notes and the customer name and the email from this. And all right, so now let's test this workflow again. So now it's waiting for this. So let's remember our little trick. When we come back in here, we don't have to say, we just say try again. And it's going through, it's trying the tool, and it says your contact information has been successfully added. We will send you a personalized proposal and more information about organizing your tropical offsite for Last Rev. If there's anything else you'd like to share or inquire about, feel free to let me know. So here we have this. It actually did create something in there. Probably didn't. Oh, we did get something. It just created it with that prospect. So let's get the fields in there. So we can open this up. So now that we've done a test webhook, we now see in this under webhook, underneath body, we see the email, the name, the notes, and the company. So here we're just going to drag email to email. Oh, I just deleted it. Email to email, name to name, notes to notes, and I guess we don't have company anymore. So, all right. So now when we do this and we say test workflow and we come back and we do our little try again. Oh, I already gave you mine. Oh, I know why. All right. So here, thank you, Bradley. Your contact information has been added. So here we now see in ours that we have our email with the customer names and the notes. So the notes are user wants to organize an offsite tropical for their company. And the last one was a lot better. So that's the thing with prompting and a very vague prompt like what we have. So let's update that so that it both gets the information a little bit more naturally, and then it also will make the notes a little bit more actionable. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our dashboard for Anthropic. And we're going to go over here to generate a prompt so that we get a very detailed prompt. And we're going to go into this instructions. So if you go to the tool agent in Flowise or the Sidekick Studio here, you can system message. Let's just copy this out and let's just start over here. Your goal is to eventually capture first name or their name, why they want to, or what services they want more information about, and there. We want to ask these naturally throughout the conversation with a priority on helping the user rather than constantly asking for their email. That is the ultimate goal. But play it cool, bro. Sometimes I like to put that in my prompts because it's going to make it better. But like, hey, don't be like, give me your email, but really trying to help the user. All right. So this is another reason that I love using the dashboard, because it can also, because one of the things that it really matters in good prompting are one, good instructions and good giving it a lot of context, but also giving it a lot of examples. And down here, 2 good examples of good responses. I love that it gives those examples. I'm interested in your website design services. What do you offer? Hello, I'm glad you're interested in our web. We offer a range of options from simple landing pages. This is also where in the examples, if you have very common questions that are asked, just having in the FAQ or using that as an example, this is your opportunity to be like, this is exactly what I wanted to say. Because when they ask that question, guess what? They're going to probably get this exact answer. But just because ours is a travel site, sometimes also giving it varying information is good because it understands more around the goal and the context around the question asking, less around the context about what's being asked, but how it's being asked. So that's why sometimes giving it, as you can see here, about web design services and bakery, even though ours is a travel website, these are good examples in how to elicit the information, not necessarily use this for the content. So very big distinction there. So here we can just look at this, familiarize yourself with the business information. We have the business info there, your role and goals. So we're going to change this over to tools and not just a variable. Acts as friendly and knowledgeable, provide helpful information about the business services. Then down here, we give it what the role and goals are. Conversation flow and priorities. Begin by warmly greeting the user and offering assistance. Answer any questions the user has about the business or its services. Ask follow-up questions to better understand the user's needs and interests. Gradually work towards capturing the user's information like name, interest, email, and prioritize being helpful and informative over immediately asking for contact details. And guidelines for capturing the user information, name, try to naturally incorporate the user's name into the conversation if they provide it. Interests, ask questions about which services they're most interested in or what their specific needs are. And then email towards the end of the conversation, offer to send personalized information via email. So once again, giving these guidelines so that it's a little less pushy. And these are all things that you can work with. One of the nice things is that once you have this information, you can then test it, test different prompts, and test different instructions and get different answers. All right, so here we're going to say, we're going to have our own tools thing. And we're going to say, we're actually going to save this and we're going to get the tool name, which is company FAQs, and use this tool to get information about the company and its services. Always use this tool when answering users' questions about the company. Do not assume anything that is outside the information located in this document. And this is really important because you don't want your chatbot to be hallucinating all over the place. And this is one kind of best practice I'd also like to point out is that one of the reasons that we use these on highly targeted hidden pages from our site is we can really narrow the information that needs to go into this chatbot instead of having it to answer every question about my business. It's like, hey, if someone's coming to here through an ad campaign or some piece of organic content, they're going to be asking for a specific type of service that we offer that's focused on a specific niche. So the amount of information that I need to give this chatbot is far less. And one of the things that you'll learn with AI chatbots is if you narrow the amount of information that you give it, they work extraordinarily well. It's when you start giving it large amounts of information, especially if you're a large company, and it has to sift through that, you get incomplete information, and sometimes it will make things up. And that's why we have the business that we do, is because hooking it up like that is extremely hard. So you want to make sure that you are always putting in here, and when you're rolling these out, making sure that you're really, really prompting it to make sure that it doesn't make anything up. Also put in disclaimers about nothing promised here is legally binding. Have your lawyer look at it, not a lawyer. All right, so we have the company FAQs and tool. And next I am going to choose the create contact and Airtable tool. And let's just tell it when to use that and what for. Use this tool to create a contact in Airtable. All right. And you know what? The other thing too is you don't ever want to give your customers or your prospects just a blank screen. You want to guide them. And this can really help you to really guide the conversation as well. What are the things that you're constantly being asked about your business, right? That you can just answer, or the ways that you want to guide it, right? I want more information about your personalized itinerary. There we go. Tell me about your executive travel booking options, right? So you can guide these. So once I put them in here, and now when I go to our chatbots, and remember this can be embedded on your own websites. Why did that not work? So now when I'm here, when this chatbot's going to be embedded on a website, I can now just simply click, tell me more about your executive travel booking options. So Travel Smart AI offers a comprehensive executive travel option. Here's all the information. Are you interested in learning more about our corporate packages, or how can we specifically cater to your business travel needs? Notice it didn't ask me for my email this time. I have around 30 people that I need to fly from various places around the world. We are looking for somewhere tropical. I think I'm wanting to go on a tropical offsite. That's an exciting plan. We can assist you with that for up to 30 as we specialize in creating seamless group travel experiences. Great. We can help with itinerary planning. Could you share more about your objectives for this trip, or if there's a particular tropical destination you're considering? Additionally, if you provide your name and email, I can send you detailed information. So I can be like, we thinking Mexico in Feb with the team. So I didn't give the information, but I just added that. So start planning, to get started on planning, could I have your name and email address? That way I can send it. So as I start to do this, it's going to start to ask more. Sure. My name is Brad and my email is digitalscaledemo@gmail.com. All right, so now it's gone through. Thank you, Brad, taking your notes. If you have any more, feel free to ask. We look forward to that. So now we've gone in here, and when we go into Travel Smart AI, we can see that it added my user. So Brad is interested in planning a team trip to Mexico in February with a group of 30 people from various international locations. He is considering tropical destinations and is looking for seamless travel logistics and personalized itineraries, because I asked about the personalized itineraries first. So here you get way more information than just the email address that most forms will give you. So now that we have this in Airtable, and Airtable is perfectly fine for CRM, I did want to go over how to set this up in HubSpot, because a lot of companies use HubSpot or Salesforce. There's a lot of other CRMs out there, but this same technique can be used for more small business, enterprise business CRMs as well. So we're gonna for this exercise, we're going to link up the chatbots. So instead of using an Airtable tool, we're going to use a HubSpot tool to create the contact. And I'll show you how to do that. And then we're going to demonstrate how we can hook this up so that this can be used in conjunction with your current CRM. So we come back here to Airtable, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the tools. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we could do this. In the marketplace, and this is the Flowise marketplace, they do have add HubSpot contact. They do have create Airtable record. Now you may be asking yourself, well, wait, didn't we just create an innate to create Airtable? The biggest problem with that is that, and with both of these, is that it requires you to put your API token here, which is great if you're running AnswerAI locally, you're running Flowise locally, fine. But I'd be a little leery about putting that into any cloud, any service really. But for the purposes of this one, I am going to show you how to use this one in a very similar fashion to how we've been using the innate-in. So this is how you can use a third-party API in our custom tools. So we've actually only been doing everything through innate-in to push things, but this is how you can now use it directly using some of these templates and using them in Flowise and AnswerAI. So here I'm going to use this template. And I'm going to say add contact to HubSpot. Great name. Don't need to even update the tool description. We're going to say email. We're going to change this to just name. No, actually, it needs to be first name. Or not technically, but how we send it to HubSpot does require first name. We're not going to have last name. Instead of last name, we're going to have notes. And we're going to say the summary of the conversation with the user. So down here, it's going to look a little bit different. So this is the URL for this API. Now, all of these companies, like HubSpot, Salesforce, if you just type their name and then the words API, you're always going to get the very first one, their developers hub. So all of these companies, if they don't have something like that, it's not a tool you want to use because you want to be able to connect it to all of your different options. Now in here, it does talk about how you can create what's called a private application. And that's what we're going to go through, the steps to set that up so that you can use all of this in your workflows, because creating contacts are just one thing that you can do. So for instance, you can update all of your contacts. You can look at your ad stuff, enrich your companies. There's a lot of interesting things you can do once you have this set up. So before you do that though, you do have to set up a private app. And if you click in here, first off, you have to have super admin privileges. So if you're trying to do this for your company and you're not like the HubSpot admin, sorry, you're going to need to resort to something else. But if you do have super admin privileges, you can come in here and it does talk about how you can create your own private app. And what I want to do is show you how ours is set up in our. I'm not going to sign up for a full account for this one, but I do want to show you how this is set up. All right, so I'm going to go in here and I'll show you what our staging version looks like this. So here we have our AnswerAI application. And if you want to create a new app, and this is at app.hubspot.com and /private-apps. You can get to it from your dashboard. So when you log in on the left-hand side, where is it? Under data management, the thing that looks like little cylinders above the folder, if you click on integrations, that'll take you to your integrations page with all the different integrations that you have connected to it. Then you have private apps here for different options. So as you can see here, I have an AnswerAI private app. But to create a private app, you simply just say create private app. You give it a name. Once again, you have to give it scopes. So this goes back to what we talked about in day 5, where you have to say, hey, this has access to my contacts, to carts, appointments. There's a lot of different things that you can give this access to. So really, on this case, we just need to have access to the contact information. So when you're setting this up, you can just go in here to find scope, and as you can see here, we have contacts read, sensitive read. So you can make it so that any fields that are marked as sensitive, it doesn't have access to. This is really good practice to make it so that your AI tools don't have necessarily access to sensitive, unless of course that's what it does need access to, but I would be very leery about giving it access to that. And then you have your read write contacts as well for these. So the objects means that it can write the actual objects. The schema means that it can actually read and write the schema. The difference is the objects are the individuals itself. So I can create new contacts like Brad, John, Bill, Todd. The schema is I can edit what fields, first name, last name, those types of things. So depending on your use case for how you're using the API and all of these APIs, you just select which ones you need. In this case, you would just need technically to have the ability to read contacts and write contacts for this. Then once you have that, you do have the ability to do what are called webhooks. We're not going to go into that right now, but once you have this, you can do it so when certain things happen in HubSpot, it can kick off other things. As we know, we love webhooks. They can kick off our own automations. So later in this course, we're going to be talking about how to use these webhooks in CRM so that when actions happen, you can do things. A good example of this is the content marketing team just released some white paper about some problem that your prospect said they had in the chatbot. Boom, here it is. It hit this area. It can now kick off that automation to give you that email ready to go with that white paper as soon as that content is available. Just giving you faster speed to closing sales. All right. So once you have this, you're going to have what's called here this auth. Now I'm not going to show it, but here you see this access token. Here, if I say show token, I can then copy this. In this case, I can go in here and I can just simply copy this value, and then I can go into Flowise or AnswerAI. And I can just paste it right here. And remember, this is just so I can show you how to use this. One of the nice things about deploying AnswerAI and Flowise to your own infrastructure is this can actually be read from an environment variable to even be more secure, so you can reuse these in the future. But for right now, I'm just going to paste this in here for the purposes of this. What I'm going to do is go in, and before I do that, I wanted to explain what this is doing first. So this is first using the URL for what you need to do to create a new contact in HubSpot. We have the token here, which I'll replace here before we use it. But here we have in the body, we just have the properties for email. Now, before we've always just been adding all of the different properties, right? But, well, these other ones are not required. So first name and notes are not required. So if they're not there, then we just don't need to send them as part of that. So what I'm going to do, and this is just so that I can show you just another way of using these tools, because we've been using these tools pretty much the exact same way in the past ones where we create the webhook, we send it to N8N, and then get the response back. This is just another way to use these tools. All right, so we're going to say first name, and we're actually going to call this one notes. That's what we did. So notes. And I think notes is what it is, but we'll find out here in a minute how to actually get that custom field for notes, because I do have a notes field in mind. So what I've done here is, just to recap, is I added the HubSpot tool from the marketplace in the tools app. I then kept the name, add contact to HubSpot. I have said that I want to get the email, the first name, and the notes. And I'm going to swap out this hidden token with my real one here in just a second. And I'm passing over the email and the first name and the notes. So let me just move that over and grab that. All right, so now I have the webhook for adding a contact in HubSpot in my tool belt. Our tool belt's growing, and we're going to go ahead and look for our lead, capture Sidekick, and we're going to go in here and we have this. And we're going to actually remove our Airtable contact one, and we're just going to swap it out with our custom tool. Well, I guess we could have just changed the name there. We didn't have to remove it. And we're just going to HubSpot. Here we go. And we're going to connect it to the tools area. All right, so now let's go through this, see what happens. Tell me about your travel executive booking options. So now we have this, it's going through, giving me the options. Can you tell me more about your specific needs or preferences you have for your executive travel? I need it for 30 people around the world. All right, sounds like a plan. Can I have your name and email? All right, so Bradley Digital Scale Demo at gmail.com. I want to go somewhere tropical. All right. So here we go. So it looks like it seems there was an issue with sending the notes. However, I have your name and email, Bradley, for tropical destinations. We can arrange travel. Oh, interesting. So let's see what it said. So it looks like the property notes does not exist. So this is where I need to get, it's not called notes. So we need to get the information for what that field is actually called in my HubSpot. So all right, here I'm going to go into, so if you go up here in the top right hand corner of your HubSpot account, there's a little gear right here that's going to take you to your settings. And then on the left, you're going to have what's called properties. So here you have all of the different properties for the different items. So here I've selected contact. So it looks like we have 215 properties on our contact information. So here I can search for things like notes. Let's put membership notes. I'm going to put it in there, and we're going to click on it. And here, if I go to property setting, oh, here we go. All right, we have field type, rules, use, and then preview the details. Here it is. Jeez, that is hidden. So here it is, internal name. Let me just zoom in there because I missed that 100%. I was like, it is in here somewhere. So when you go into a property, so if we go here to membership notes, we can see internal name. It's HS content membership notes. That's actually what we want to target, say it, and not the other one. So I'm going to update my tool to use that. So I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to open up the tool. I'm not going to show it because there we go. So I'm just going to swap this to be, it doesn't, and this is a good example of why it doesn't matter what it's called up here. It's what we're going to call it right here. So this is in reference to this. So this has to equal that. So if notes, that's this one. And then this is what it's being saved as. So body.properties hs underscore content. So that same item. So if I save this, hit save this. Let me say, try sending again. All right. So I have successfully saved your details, Bradley. We'll follow up with tailored travel proposals and information for your tropical venture. So here we have add contact to HubSpot, digital at scale demo, Bradley, what I'm doing, and the output of it. And then if I go into HubSpot, so if I look here, we have HubSpot's life cycle stage. It's probably really confused because this is my actual HubSpot. But if I go in here, where is the... So here I could add activities, I could add tasks. I don't know where the meeting notes are in here. Let me see what it looks like over here. So here, in order to get it to see, what I did was I went into my settings again, go to contact, look at your views. So as you can see here, we have the different items. You can add different tabs for activities. So little bit of HubSpot one on this, but the thing that we're going to want to add is add cards, and we're going to search for this property. So what was it? Notes. We want contacts, associated property. We're going to say notes. Oh no, this is for... So you can add this, you can update it, and customize it any way that you want it to be. And so that is it for today. So tomorrow we're going to be focused on outbound sales emails. So we're going to take the information we have from either the chatbot. We're going to show you how you can then enrich those leads using the same prospect and competitor research, and then how we can create automations that can create outbound and sales emails that really convert. Because you're using personalized information to send based off of really detailed research. So once again, thank you everyone for attending today. If you found this content valuable, please share it with your friends and coworkers and anyone who might be interested in AI and automation. And with that, I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.